in Orissa? You can only do it with the government, from inside. There is a very fashionable way of talking nowadays that you engage with government. You cannot be sitting on the sidelines like a spectator sport, commenting, cribbing, crowing, ye nahi hua, pani nahi aaya, rasta kharab hai. It's fashionable to speak of engaging with government. But I would urge you to think a step further. Why don't you engage from within government? Because that is the space where you have the sovereign power. You are a stakeholder, a member sharing in that power which no other power, no other entity in a society ever exercises. I hold a white passport. When I took it home from my daughter, elder one, saw it, and she said, Ami, you can get lakhs of rupees as remuneration. You can get the best of fringe benefits, the most demanding of perks. But this is something you cannot get easily. It is something which I do not wear like a lapel or a badge of honor on my being. Being with the government comes with a huge sense of responsibility. I know there is corruption in government. I know there is inefficiency in government, and I know there is poor service delivery. I know there is scope for improvement. And that is precisely why I know that for so many brains like this accumulated here, there is a role to be played. Because only when you are playing that role, you are somewhere linked with the destiny of a country. You are somewhere empowered in the sense of being an individual. You know, let me put it this way in an image. You can be an individual at the center of the universe, where you imagine, I am the center of the universe, and you feel your family, the society, the country, the world owes you things. And so you reach out and you want. They're supposed to provide, you're supposed to take. That is one center of universe. Or you can also be at the center of another universe, where you are radiating influence. A center from which in increasing circles, your influence goes out. You influence who comes in contact. You influence the policies you touch. You influence the office you enter. You influence the complaints you make, the grievances you put forth. Because in each of those influences, there is an improvement. If you go and find that a clerk in some office, could as well be my office, asking you for money, to hasten something, some process which is legitimately your due, and you do not complain, you have limited your sphere of influence. Somewhere you have contracted your being, and to that extent, you are a crippled personality, at least in that transaction. We are lucky. We have education, we have opportunities, and we have a voice. The only thing that we possibly need to have now is that sense of connect. That sense of connect makes me feel guilty and ashamed on most days. If my daughter leaves food on her plate, if she wastes food, I'm supposed to, and I do not pull her up, I do not check her. I feel guilty and I feel ashamed because I remember that 20% of Indians suffer chronic hunger. You know how it is? Pet marorta hai. You have those cramps in your stomach with hunger. Without experience, you would not understand it. Without that sense of shame, you would not relate it to your activities on a day-to-day basis. Even now when I'm driving from home to IIM in a single occupant car, I feel guilty. That's so much of space I am taking, whereas the pedestrian has no road to walk on. At least I feel guilty. You may as well. I'm feeling guilt and shame, and I'm trying to make a connect in the position where I am. I'm trying to feel that being in government, I'm not so worse off. I may not have all those, those very fat remuneration packages. Even in the corporate sector, it's now falling. I may not have those frequent trips to very exotic locales. But what I do have is a sense of purpose. And even if you speak in very crass monetary